Lovely.
How's it going, everybody? This is Reggie.
This is Keefer.
And this is episode 5. Bees.
Oh.
So, we're gonna do we're gonna do a story today. One each. So, I'll start off, because he starts the ones in the car, I start the ones in the room.
Apparently that's how it works.
Yeah, it just happened that way. So, my story is about a car accident that I got into about, I think 4 or 5 years ago. So, at the time I was living in a shelter, and I was looking for housing, and I was actually with one of my friends at the shelter, and they gave us these directions to get to a place for housing, and it was in Kitchener. So we would go down to Ainsley Terminal, and we run into these two girls that me and him knew, and we smoked some weed, and we got high. And then we went on a bus all the way to Kitchener, and then we were at this intersection. It was by a shortstop. It's right before you get to Fairview Mall, and there was cars stopped on one side of the road, and on the other side of the road, cars were going this way. And we were walking, and then we stepped in front of a bus. And the second we both stepped in front of the bus, a car came and hit us both. And I hit the
Madness.
car. Crazy. I hit the car.
I wonder if she'll see this.
Who?
Was it
the girl hit us. So when she hit me, I had rolled, and I had broken the windshield with my ass. I actually have a scar on my ass because of it.
Did you still have glass in your ass?
Yeah, I still got a piece of glass lodged in my ass. I'll get the reason why it's there. So
He loves it.
it's crazy. Sometimes when I sit down, I feel it. It feels weird. And so yeah, I broke the windshield with my ass, and I guess my shoulder hit it, and I got knocked out instantly. And then about, I don't know how many seconds later, but I just woke up on top of the car. And then I woke up, and I hopped off the car, and my shoulder was all twisted like this. It was like kind of like dangling and twisted, and it was like really bad. Look at my tricep right there. And
Did you go on?
it was just dangling. And then I walked to the sidewalk, and she was there, and she was freaking out, just losing her mind. Like she even said she's never gonna drive again. And I remember I gave her a hug and like calmed her down. I'm like, it's okay, we're okay.
It's honestly enough when you get into an accident. I've never hit anybody, but I've been into a car accident, and it's enough to make you not want to drive anymore.
Oh yeah, she was shaking like uncontrollably, and I think it was like a Bell store at the time or something like that. But these people took me in there, they sat me down, and they gave me like a cloth to get like the blood off. I had a little cut on my arm, and I had a cut right here on my forearm. And on my ass, I didn't treat the ass wound, and
The ass wound.
Yeah.
You didn't treat the ass wound.
So I basically cleaned up, and my friend got hit by the car, but he went sliding, and his name is Ernie.
Road rash.
Yeah, he went sliding. He got like all road rash on his arm, and his shoe fell off. And I remember walking outside, and he was
Tire laces.
He was he was on the sidewalk, and his arms all covered in blood from the road rash.
Just raw.
Yeah, and there's cars running rawhide. Cars were running over his shoe, and I was laughing at that. And then the ambulance came, they picked me and him up, and we had to get wheeled in by a wheelchair. It was like policy or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, and then we were both high, and we were jaywalking. So I'm in this room laying on this bed, and there's glass in my ass, and then they examined me, and the doctor was going to come in or whatever, and take the glass out of my ass and put stitches. I don't think they knew, or I knew I had glass in my ass at the time.
Glass in his ass.
I mean, glass in my ass.
He had glass in his ass.
They were going to come and do stitches, but before they did that, a cop had came in and wrote me a ticket for jaywalking. So I almost died. I'm in a lot of pain. My arm is all twisted up. And this cop gives me a ticket. And I was like, oh my god, really? And then yeah, it's crazy. I almost died, and he's giving me a ticket. I know I did jaywalk and break the law, but you'd think they could have gave me like a little bit of a break, considering I almost died.
Nope.
No?
You're just a number.
Yeah, and the real story, it's on record. And
Goof cops.
Cough goofs. And then I hopped out of the bed and I went outside and I called my dad to come and pick me up and had a cigarette. He picked me up and he bought me Subway and then he went to we went to his house.
Brat.
Yeah, I got in the shower and yeah, that's about it. And the girl I'm with right now, I told her and she's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And you know, that was a while ago. Yeah, so basically, I almost died by a car, and cops still gave me a ticket. And to this day, I have a bad memory because of that.
Oh yeah.
Before, my memory was awesome, but now,
Oh, I don't know about that.
like, well, it was way better. But now, my memory is like really, really bad.
Really shoddy.
Yeah, really shoddy.
Yeah, it's something else. I'm sure there's still your Fast Eddie's cup stuffed in my door panel in the car.
I actually threw that in the bag.
Did you?
Yeah.
Holy. How must have froze over.
Yeah, I got hit by a car, and it changed my life for sure.
Wasn't there another story you were going to cover that you promised the viewers in the last episode?
Oh yeah. The other thing is, you see on my face, I have scars on my face. A lot of people think that I was doing meth or drugs or some kind of drugs, and I was. No, but seriously, I wasn't doing drugs. In high school, I had very bad acne, like very bad cystic acne. It was terrible. I got made fun of and whatever. And yeah, so my acne was really bad, and I used to pop pimples all the time. I thought that's what you're supposed to do, but it's not. It makes scarring even worse. So the acne got so bad, and I remember like I used to cry because it was so bad, not because of the pain, just because like I was so insecure about it. And then my mom finally noticed that I was like pretty upset about it, so she took me to the doctor, and I got on this drug called Accutane, and it helped. It made my acne like go away, and I was left with scars. And Accutane, like, oh man, it's like a miracle drug, but it's also not that good for you. It's like you can get mood swings and stuff like that, and it would dry me out, so my lips would crack all the time. I had really dry skin, like dead skin on my face. It completely dried me out, and it dried me out everywhere, even on my foreskin. And my foreskin would crack open, and it wouldn't hurt to pee, but every time I got an erection, the foreskin would expand, and it would make cracks in it, and it would hurt. So I try not to.
Lovely.
Yeah, I couldn't pleasure myself.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It dried my foreskin right out.
First it's pissing in sinks, now it's dried foreskin.
Yeah, so...
How did 2 and 2 go together? Was it good?
It was pretty rough. I didn't get an erection when I peed, so it's not that bad.
Pissing with an erection is the worst.
Oh, man. Imagine dry foreskin pissing in an erection in a sink.
In a sink. You can't flush a sink.
Yeah. And I didn't have a mental breakdown, but while I was on it, I definitely like lost my shit a lot. Got mad at people for no reason. But yeah, that's how I got the scars on my face. They're all acne scars. They're very bad scars. But
yeah, and to you people that think he's on drugs and all that, and it's just like piss off.
I'm not on drugs.
I'm sick of hearing that. I really am.
I know, man. I have like a really bad reputation. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, like.
But it's like, holy, some of the stuff that people tell me, it's like, oh my god, man.
Some of the stuff that I've heard is like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the main reason, I'm going to say this now, I dated a girl a long time ago, and when I was younger, and I was always a very physical person, so I'd like pick her up, pin her against the locker, and like kiss her and stuff like that, and people thought that I was like abusing her, which never did happen, and she knows that. She definitely knows that deep inside, that deep inside. Very deep.
Holy.
She knows that didn't happen, and it's the same girl who said that I'd raped her, but she knows damn well I didn't rape her, because if I did rape her, then I must have raped her about like 60, 70 times. That's how many times we had intercourse. And
we should be talking about that.
well, anyways, we had a really bad breakup. And then she just started to hate me, and then she started spreading a lot of rumors about me, and a lot of people believed her because she seemed like this innocent person, but I didn't want to go too much into it. Basically,
Yeah.
She spread a lot of rumors about me that were not true, and a lot of people stopped talking to me and being my friend, and then eventually, so I went from an abusive, rapist, drug addict, lunatic.
I almost fell off the chair. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
This chair is not very good. I hate this chair.
And it chair hates you. And that was basically my reputation through high school.
Pretty messed.
Yeah, and the people who believed it, they stayed away from me, which I'm perfectly fine with. And people have confronted me a lot about it over Facebook and Messenger, saying if I see you, I'll kick your ass. If I see you, you're gonna get hurt. And I've seen these people in real life who've never met me before. They don't do a single thing. It's just all talk. I guess as soon as they see me, they're like terrified of me, I guess. But yeah, there were times where I would just go outside and I'd be like just ready for a fight. Like even to this day, I'm prepared to fight at any time, because you never know. And yeah, so basically, her spreading rumors had impacted my life a lot.
Don't believe everything you hear.
Exactly, because the people who are my friends and know me, they know who I really am.
Yeah.
So that's it. Those are my two little stories, right? It's crazy too, because this kind of relates to it. Is that a lot of people thought that I was going to grow up to be a loser, drug addict, and all these other things, but I actually have a really good life. And the person who said bad things about me, from what I hear, their life is pretty hectic, chaotic. They don't know who they are. You know, as people go through phases in life.
It's just a phase, Mom.
Yeah,
Jeez.
It's just a phase. But I've seen people go from being good people, like really good, genuine people, to going to country, to going to emo, to goth, to saying they're a unicorn. You know, like the most innocent people, but they're so easily influenced. And it just seeing someone go from a good, decent person to someone you're like, who are you? Within a matter of weeks, it's like, I don't know how someone can be so easily influenced by things and change their whole personality because of that.
Those fake rednecks, man, they get me.
Oh yeah, man.
They're the funniest.
But when you go from redneck to goth, to me, there's something wrong there. See what you're gonna say. Those are my stories. That's it. It's this guy's turn.
Yeah, well, I was gonna tell a story about my old dog. If you know me in person, you know my old dog Brody.
His dog.
His big boy.
He's a big boy.
If I could put a picture up, I would, but I don't know how. So, but yeah, we were actually discussing earlier about Brody and how he was, and he's gonna do this the whole time. How did you knock over?
Some huge ass triceps.
Holy. But yeah, we were talking about one time. I think it was what was it? Christmas. I'm just gonna say Christmas because I don't remember. It was years ago. And thanks. You notice how when you're talking, I don't do any of this.
You don't have to burp. Tell your story. I'm all ears.
You're all ears. No, you're all belches.
Come on, tell it.
So.
Stop beating around the bush.
I'm trying to tell my story.
Get on with it.
You do this every time.
Just say it.
Anyways, I'm sitting in the dining room where my computer used to be, and out in the kitchen, which is right around the corner, there was a big ham dinner on the counter. My grandfather just finished making himself a plate.
A ham dinner?
And he gave the dog a piece. And the dog, you know, whatever, went over to his spot and ate that piece of ham. My grandfather left. He went upstairs and had his dinner or whatever. And I'm sitting there. I can hear some clattering around and all. I didn't think much of it. But I took a walk out to the kitchen anyways, and all I see is the dog. He's gnawing on the ham bone. I mean, whatever. The old man must have gave him a ham bone. So I go upstairs anyways, and I asked my grandfather, I'm like, did you give Brody the ham bone? He's like, no. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure the dog just ate the whole ham. So we go back downstairs, and sure enough, the whole ham is gone. And it was funny. Thanks.
A whole ham.
Yeah, a whole ham. So him and I started joking about it. The dog has the meat sweats, and he goes out back, and he's taking this dirty dump. And he takes one claw and he just wipes the sweat off of his brow, even though dogs don't sweat.
Yeah.
Through their paws or however it works. I'm not an animal expert. But that's not the only thing that he's eaten.
He ate a whole ham.
He ate a whole tub of margarine too.
Oh, margarine butter.
Oh God. And he'd just be out back just straining.
Taking a dump.
He's straining. Just the nastiest. I'm so glad I didn't have to clean it up.
Just a big, I can't believe it's not butter shit.
Anyways. Fuck. This is why I don't do it to you.
Come on, go!
You lose your fucking train of thought when you do this to me every time. I told you last time.
I told you have a slow train. Catch it.
I can't. Fucking overweight. I remember this one time that my uncle was cooking hot dogs or sausages on the barbecue, and he dropped one on the ground. Brody swooped in as fast as he could and gulped it back. Next thing you know, he's walking slowly out into the backyard and he just yaks it up. It was so funny. I felt bad for him, but it was so funny. And you know that he did that because it was just too damn hot to be able to process.
You imagine just taking a sausage off the barbecue and just gulping it down instantly? Oh, that would burn.
It was so funny. I miss that dog.
He was a good dog. I only knew him for a few years, but he was awesome.
Yeah.
He'd always let me pet him. He was a good boy.
He'd always lay in front of the door and never move when you're trying to open it. Then he would always lay at the top of the stairs, and then as soon as you go to step over him, then he gets up. And then you almost fall backwards down the stairs. But my Brody boy, I miss him.
He's a good boy.
Well, we got Keechi boy now.
Kitchy man.
It's ironic. In my native language, Kitchy means big. And he's a small dog. So, it's funny, I guess. But yeah, that's my story about the dog.
I'm native too.
Wasn't as long as his story, but...
They call me Chief Foreskin.
What about Chief's Wood?
Chief's Wood. If I was circumcised, they just call me Chief Knob.
If any of you old people are watching this and getting offended, go watch the snooze.
The news?
Yeah.
CNN? Oh, we can't talk about that.
Go watch the snooze.
Snooze.
Yeah.
Trying to think of some other stories. A good one. It is a good story.
This is a great story.
This is great. You have another story?
I don't know that I can think of.
I started smoking butts, actually. The first time I ever smoked cigarettes. My mom would smoke a cigarette and she would doubt it. And I started going into the garage and I started smoking quarter cigarettes. Then eventually I just started smoking. And I don't smoke weed anymore. I smoked weed for 3 years of my life every day and I just stopped. I smoked weed one time, a few years ago. The last time I stopped smoking weed every day. And then now I do once every few months. I'll take a hit. But I stopped smoking because I smoked it one time and I had really weird thoughts in my head. I thought about not suicidal, but I kind of got depressed when I started smoking it. I would think about all the things that I did when I was younger that I shouldn't have done, just ripping people off and just being an asshole, and then I couldn't deal with it, so I just stopped smoking weed.
I shouldn't be laughing, but every time he brings up the whole weed stories, all I can think about is the one year that you were at my birthday and you got just absolutely ripped off of bong toast.
Yeah.
Then you're like, I gotta go, and then we call the cab for you. You're walking up the street this way,
yeah,
and the cab's coming down this way. And we're like, hey, your cab's going that way.
Yeah.
You finish the story because
so
you know the rest.
I was drinking, I was drunk, and then I smoked some weed, and the second I got high, I was like, I gotta get out of here now. That was the only thing on my mind. I was like trying to leave the party, and like people were trying to talk to me. I just like ignored them, just left. And yeah, so the cab was like going down one way, but I was walking the other, even though I lived down that way. So and then it's like, hey, your cab's over there. So I walked over, got in the cab, and I rode in the cab for like a minute, and then I stopped like on the hill, going down the hill by his house, and I went on some person's lawn, and I'm pretty sure I puked. I just
Yeah, how is it? It's great, isn't it?
it's great. It's great. And I puked on their lawn, and I like laid there for like half an hour or an hour, or a long time, and it was like freezing out, I'm pretty sure.
Well, my birthday is December 23rd, so you could imagine it probably wasn't that warm out.
Oh, it was freezing, and then I eventually was like, I gotta go home. So I'm pretty sure I called another cab, and then they brought me home.
Gosh.
And yeah, I like literally, I took a toke. I'm like, I gotta go. That's it. This guy's birthday. I just left because I got high. I started thinking totally differently. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Who are you? Don't ever call here again.
Yeah.
Right?
How do you know this number?
Yeah.
Adam Wee.
So yeah, that was quite the little story there.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
I just left.
Alright. Oh, I got another good one. This one I'm not going to mention any names because I know that. Well, I don't know, but I don't know if they'd want their names to be mentioned. But
You're breaking any hearts?
no. My brother had two of his buddies over the one night, and I didn't have a job at the time, so that's probably why I wasn't drinking. I didn't have any money for any beer or anything. So I just got out of the shower and I went downstairs. I think my brother was in his room and he called me in and he's just absolutely messed right up. And his head is in the garbage can. He's like, oh, I just threw up. I got loaded with so and so out back, and so I was curious. I was sober as a judge. Holy!
You see the indent?
I don't care about the indent.
That's crazy, man. You actually see the outline of my tricep.
So I went out back, and the two so-and-sos that I'm talking about were out back, and one of them was sitting by the fire pit on the lawn chair with his head down like this, just yakking. And the other one was he was glued to me the whole time, talking to me, absolutely drunk. And later to find out that they were drinking vodka all night, straight up vodka, just loaded. So we tried to get our one buddy up so we could walk him home. And as soon as we started walking him, we got him halfway down the backyard. And he went behind the shed, and all you hear is, ooh, just sicker than a dog.
Nothing came up out of me.
Yeah.
We should tell that story one of these times.
Eventually, we'll tell that story.
Oh, this story is so funny. We just caught some guy lying.
We gotta keep them in suspense.
Yeah. What a lie.
But we got him out of the backyard, we walked him home, and I guess he had to sneak into his house, and the whole time he's trying not to puke. The good times. Oh.
I got another little story. Should I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so...
Wait, which story?
I'll get to that.
Is it nothing came up out of me?
No. This
Alright.
is a pretty different one.
Camping?
Nope.
Huh?
You weren't here for this one. So, in my life, I've done shrooms quite a bit of times. I think shrooms are awesome. Shrooms are a good time. If you're a happy person like me, internally, shrooms are so much fun. So, first time I ever did shrooms... No, this is the third time. So the third time I ever did shrooms, I did them with my friends, and we hung out and we had a great time, and it's like a life-changing experience, right? So after we were done hanging out, I was by myself and I was walking home, and the street lights, obviously they're straight, and the light hangs like this. This is the light, and as I was walking, the street lights were doing this. They were going like that, and I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. And I looked at all the other street lights, and they were all like dancing, and I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. Everything was like going in and out, in and out. It's like everything was breathing, and I was just having the time of my life because I knew it was okay.
See the indent?
The tricep.
See the indent?
I do see the indent. So, anyways, yeah, I was having a great time. I was looking at everything, just having an awesome time, and my thought process was so positive. And I remember near the end of it, I was walking home and I puked, and then I was having a great time even when I was puking. Yeah, even when I was puking, I was having a good time, and then I looked at my puke.
I don't know how.
I was looking at my puke and I saw like it looked like there was maggots in my puke and they were moving like this. And I'm like, what is going on? And it still didn't freak me out. And then I went home and I tried to open the door and the door was locked. And I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? I don't know what to do. So I went to my friend's house and he came out. He's like, oh, what's up? And I'm like, oh, I have nowhere to go. And he asked his parents if I could stay over, and his parents didn't want me staying there. And me and his parents had a good relationship. They just didn't want me to stay there that night for some reason. I was acting completely normal. And I'm like, whatever, you guys don't want me here? Whatever. I thought you guys were really good people, and I kind of got into it with them. Because it was just so dumb, right? And then we ended up calling my other friend. Then knocked on the door, and then I went in his house, and him and his mom let me stay on the couch for the night. Which was so nice because I had nowhere to go, and I woke up and I felt amazing. It's just a great experience.
Why'd you tell some of the forest stories that you were telling me earlier?
Oh, the forest stories?
Without naming any names, because I know you don't want to.
It's hard to tell those stories though.
Without naming names, I know, that's what I was thinking too.
Without naming names.
Naming names.
Oh, I got one. This is another one. This is another a story on shrooms. This is awesome. So, this is one of the best nights of my life. Other than my daughter's being born and having intercourse for the first time, this is an amazing story. So, basically, it was Halloween, and we went to our buddy's house, a bunch of people. And as soon as I got there, our one buddy's like, he comes up to me, he's like, oh, I got some shrooms. And the second he said that, I'm like, oh my god, best night ever. And I go there and I take like a handful of them, and then I started to feel it, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. So it's a Halloween party, people are in costumes, and I had these devil horns, and I had like fake blood on my face.
Just the horns.
Just the horns. So I was having the time of my life, but our one friend, actually his brother, he was a military soldier, and he had this name tag on him, and I was on shrooms, so I'm like tripping out, right, having a good time. And every time I looked at him, the name tag was somewhere else. Every single time.
You never told me that.
It was crazy. Like,
what the fuck?
Every single time I look at him, the name tag is in a different place. And he was doing it, I'm pretty sure, on purpose, just to see my reaction. And every time I'm like, where is it? Where is it? And he always had it in a different place. And then
just on his head.
Yeah, and then it was like
probably on his other head.
Right here. And I think it was like the 20th time I looked at him, and it wasn't on the front of him anymore. And then and I'm like, where's the name tag? He's like, and then he reaches underneath him, and then he grabs it, and he's like that, and it tripped me out so bad, and I laughed, and it was such a good time, and and then our two friends, one of them is his brother again, and I'm pretty sure this is what happened. The one friend was like on the other side of the wall, and the other friend was like making it seem like there was like a demon, and the one friend was like grabbing the wall, and all you see is his face and his hands. He's like, help, 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 and then I guess they had each other, and he was like pulling him in, and I thought it was real, and I like kind of like ran away and sat down. I'm like this. I'm like, holy, I'm like, what's going on? And then they both come in the corner, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys just like scared the crap out of me. I thought it was really happening. I was like, holy, and then I started thinking of it. I'm like, this is crazy, and I think they did that just for me. But in that same night, there was someone who was putting notes in front of the door, messing with us, and they had like writing on it, and we were trying to find out who it was. We didn't know who it was. We thought it was the people next door playing a prank on us. And
there's that one I couldn't wrap my head around.
Oh, I couldn't either. So
I remember that.
Yeah, there's like people messing with us, and they did it like 3 times, and then the last time, me and his brother, we were waiting by the door for someone to do something, and We heard a knock on the door, and as soon as we heard the last knock, we opened the door as fast as humanly possible. And there was no one there. There was nobody there, but we heard the knock on the door. It's like someone just knocked on it and then vanished. I can't explain it, and it was so crazy. Me and his brother, we walk out like looking around for someone to see who it is.
We even went out to the lobby and everything because I was there.
It was crazy. We didn't see anybody. It just happened. I remember like we're all on edge. Like, well, what is going on? What's happening? And
scared to go outside for a smoke.
Yeah, oh man, it was crazy. I remember our friend's cat, very fluffy cat, and I was petting it like this. Puff. Yeah, Puff. I was petting this cat, and I'm like this. Like, I pet it, look at my hand. I'm like, oh, this cat feels like spider webs. And I just kept doing it, and then a few people are looking at me like laughing. And then I stand up and I walk away because I just couldn't deal with that right there. I could not pet that cat anymore, and it was driving me nuts.
I'm so glad I just drank beer and that's it.
Yeah. But it was still fun, right? And remember, there was people in the one room, and we're all like looking inside the room, and then our one friend decides to push everybody out of the room. Like, get out, get out, get out. I didn't know what was going on. He just pushed us all out of the room, and I'm in the living room, like sitting down like this, like. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And then the fake blood on my face was peeling, and I'm like, well, what's this stuff? What's this stuff? Like. It was crazy. It was so much fun.
You never told me all those details.
Oh man, it was so much fun. The whole night I was like tripping, and his brother with the name tag was like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That is pretty fucking funny.
He didn't know where it was. He's like looking on his shoulders, his arms, his legs, and he's like, and he reaches under and he grabs it and he shows me. And I'm like, what the fuck? What was that? It was crazy. It was such a fun night. We had a lot of great times. There was like when I'm on shrooms, I can feel the energy of people, and there was like anger, there was happiness, and there was every kind of emotion that you can feel. And I was just sitting down, kind of like taking it in. I'm like, what is going on? And then eventually, I seen our two friends. They kind of got into it a bit, and I saw our one friend like grab another friend by the face and like not rip, but like grab his lip, and like he was like twisting his face. And I'm like, whoa, just calm down. And then I calmed our friend down, and then everything else was good. And then, yeah.
When was that?
It was the same night.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you didn't see it, but it was...
I was quite a few beers deep.
Two of them remember. I know they do. But yeah, it was so fun.
It was... wasn't it?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So much fun. And there was people crying. There was people, there was also people like saying that I was the problem, even though I was the most positive person there. For some reason, I was the issue,
Yeah.
and the person couldn't tell me to my face that I was the problem, and they told everybody like in the room, and then it circulated back to me. You know, like if you have a problem, just come and tell me, and I'll help, and I'll try and solve it. But it took from everyone else to tell me that it's me, and most of the people were like, what? What are they talking about? And like, to this day, I'm like, what is going on? And that's also the night where me and this guy's brother, we were always cool with each other, really. Like, we had disputes, but it was just over dumb stuff. And that was the night where me and this guy's brother, like, really connected. And we really talked, like, a heart-to-heart talk. It was a very, very good night. And then woke up, had breakfast, and our friend's dog was licking orange juice off the ground, and we all laughed.
That fucking dog.
Yeah. This guy wanted me to come with him and hang out more, but I was the problem. Mm-hmm. And I don't care how anyone takes this. If the person watching this video is that person, I don't care how you take it. That's the way you made me feel, like I was the problem, even though I wasn't. It was such a lame excuse, and it just made me laugh. I was like, really, man? Like, really? Come on. Couldn't even tell me. And it was so stupid of what the problem was. And like, now that you think about it, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, that was a crazy, awesome, good time on shrooms. Amazing time. I've only had one bad trip on shrooms, but by the way, out of all the times I did them.
But I think that wraps up today's episode.
Think so?
I think so.
Yeah. Well,
It's went on long enough.
in the future, I got some more shroom stories, and they get better and better. That wasn't the best one. That was one of the best nights of my life, but that wasn't the best story.
Hopefully I have more stories without being interrupted.
Yeah. You interrupt yourself. But I'm telling you, some of these stories are so crazy. And if you ever done shrooms and you have a good time, you know what I'm talking about. It's a great time.
I've never done them, so I can't relate. I won't do them.
Yeah, he'll never touch that. And I don't blame him.
No thanks.
You gotta be a really happy person. And just realize that everything is okay. The shrooms just make it look different and seem different, but it's a fun time.
He thinks I'm depressed for whatever reason.
It couldn't be your monotone voice.
That's just the way I talk.
Yeah, lack of expression.
That's just the way I am.
Also, one more thing I want to add, that if you ever do shrooms and you have a girlfriend and you're about to do the dirty, for me personally, when I'm on shrooms and I'm about to do it, it's like as soon as she strips down in front of you, you take everything into an account and you notice all the details of their body, and just you really see how beautiful the female body is. And banging on shrooms, oh man, what a time. What a time. It's crazy. I've always been attracted to female body, like a lot. Around shrooms, and you really think about it and look at it, it all just makes sense. It makes complete sense of why you should be attracted to them. You notice every detail and you see how beautiful the human body is. It's a beautiful thing. That's my experience on having intercourse on shrooms. It's probably the best sex I've ever had was on shrooms. And what a time. I'm telling you, it's so much fun. You just go with it. And you have the time of your life. Unless you have a bad trip. But yeah, that was the day where I truly found out how beautiful the female body is. It's a beautiful thing. So yeah, if you ever want to try something new, you've done shrooms before and you're comfortable with it, have intercourse on shrooms. And tell me how it feels. Not physically, but how you think about it. Because it totally changed my perspective of it. It's insane. 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 In the brain.
We're done?
I think we're done here.
Alright.
Are you done?
Yep.
Alright.
Alright. Alright.
I love psychedelics.
Thanks for watching again.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next one.
Do some shrooms.